The problem we have here, and that's a very dangerous situation where you find young people going to the bank, the premises of the bank, going to protest because they're dealing with a very influential personality called Verydarkman that is well loved. In fact, his followership is phenomenal.
As I speak to you right now, the EFCC has not said anything. Rather, people that are saying this is what the EFCC had privately told them. The EFCC has privately told them at the end of the day, EFCC, I'm just looking at their page, they are calling all of that fake news.
So guys, none of the security agencies have come up to own up that they are the one that arrested the Verydarkman. Nigerians were saying that it is the EFCC, but the information coming up is saying that it is not the EFCC. Now this headline is saying DSS, police, EFCC arrest Verydarkman in joint operation. I'm going to allow you to take a look at how the Arise TV analyst Mr. Tete has come out to blast the EFCC that they've even not released any statements, no official statements, you know, because Nigerians believe that they are the ones that arrested the Verydarkman, but still they can't even come up to say, okay, we didn't arrest him or we arrested him or any of those. Nobody knows the whereabouts of the Verydarkman, and now you can see this headline saying that they worked in conjunction. I mean, the DSS, the police, the EFCC, they all work together in this arrest. I mean, in perfecting this arrest of the Verydarkman. So guys, you can see how the security agencies are just leaving Nigerians in suspense. What is the big deal for them to come out to say, if it's the DSS that is keeping him, tell Nigerians he is in our custody. If it's the EFCC, officially tell Nigerians, because everything you'll be hearing from people are just speculations. I mean, nobody knows exactly where the Verydarkman is. But I'm going to allow you take a look at how Arise TV crew member and also Barrister Tete, they've all come out to a kind of, you know, shout at the EFCC that why will you just hold somebody for this long without even informing the public that he's in your custody? Anyway, just take your time, watch this video, and let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Condemning the arrest and detention of social media activist Martin Vincent Ose, popularly known as Verydarkman. VDM was arrested on May 2, 2025 at the GT Bank premises in Abuja, while the youths who criticized the manner in which the activist was apprehended are demanding his immediate and unconditional release. They claim he was neither invited for questioning nor arrested with a warrant. While the EFCC has not stated reasons or responded to inquiries about the arrest of the activist, a report by the BBC quoting the spokesperson, Dele Oyewale, says that VDM was taken into custody following complaints from several petitioners on the allegation of cyber stalking. It is, however, an allegation that the EFCC has refuted. I'm joined now by lawyer and Arise analyst Frank Tete. Frank, good to see you, and help us understand exactly what we're dealing with here. We've heard from the EFCC, you know, the bail conditions for the social media activist, and then on the other hand, you know, on the one hand, we hear it's based on what's it called? Complaints from individuals, and then EFCC says no, it's no such thing, it's fake news. This miscommunication, is that what is giving oxygen to this?
If the EFCC is able to determine what is fake news, one would expect too that it will sell us the proper news, the proper situation of things. I think I like the slogan of the EFCC where before now when it says the EFCC will get you anytime, anywhere, right? So that's, you know, connotes a very powerful organization that's ubiquitous. In that case, and then an individual, that kind of powerful organization against an individual, the organization should show some restraint and should show some measure of you know, application of standards. You see, I can say this on behalf of Ola Olukayode, the chairman of the EFCC, that he's committed to standards, but sometimes, oftentimes, the operatives of the EFCC get somewhat overzealous, and when they do that, it shouldn't be too difficult to explain. Now, the problem we have here, and that's a very dangerous situation where you find young people going to the bank, the premise of the bank, going to protest because they're dealing with a very influential personality called Verydarkman that is well loved. In fact, his followership is phenomenal. Now, and that's the reason why EFCC as an organization that also requires the goodwill of the public in its fight against corruption and financial crimes should actually deal carefully with an individual like Verydarkman. Now, there's a problem. He has been arrested, and then there seemed to be a form of strong, cooperation that was offered by the Guarantee Trust Bank. The expectation is a show of accountability on the part of the EFCC and the bank by simply explaining to Nigerians that this is exactly what's happening. Nobody is saying that Verydarkman is above the law. However, when it seems...
the bank in question says, they don't have a hand in it. The young man, the VDM, was arrested outside the premises of the bank. That they've exculpated themselves, more or less.
But Nigerians don't believe, and that's more reason why an authority like the EFCC should be the forefront of showing a level of accountability to the people by saying this and such a reason is why we arrested Verydarkman. And of course, because of the presumption of innocence, he should be assumed that he has been granted bail. And then so that report,
given bail conditions, that he will not be released until he meets his bail conditions, and he will be taken to court.
Well, that's the report. That's a report accredited to the BBC.
Right.
However, it's nothing difficult for the EFCC. EFCC has fantastic spokesmen. Whether you talk about Dilly or Wilson or Wajire, these are people who are very experienced in the business of public relations and public communication. So it's not difficult to communicate it. The problem is, Nigerians lose respect for the EFCC when it fails to do very simple things like this, or when it seems as if it's doing the bidding of one person. The chairman is not like that. I can say that because I've had a personal contact with him. So my mindset about the way he operates is a matter of very high ethical standards.
So why is it not reflecting in his men on the ground?
The reason why. That's the reason why people protest. That's the reason why we must say that this is not the proper thing to do, especially for a very influential person like Verydarkman.
Yeah.
My expectation is that simply go and tell the public what is done, and now because of the presumption of his innocence, announce the bail conditions. I mean, I think it's valid a point if someone says that you could have simply invited him. I mean, for a long time, and when the FCC carries out one forms of publication as to a wanted person, the people show up because they know that from the current criminal arrangement, whether you even flee abroad, you'll be caught. So my expectation is that the EFCC should show some measure of accountability to the people. It's not a government to itself.
How can the EFCC show accountability? How can the EFCC fix this? What's looking in your eyes like a damage to the reputation of the EFCC?
I think just do the right thing. I would have expected
the right thing be?
Call a press conference, because you can see that in this age of the social media, where people like Verydarkman reign as or I would say as kings, they carry a lot of influence in that place, and every young Nigerian nearly sees this sort of fellows as role models. So it's not a very good thing if now the FCC is seen as the oppressor, as the one that can be used by the government to suppress free speech. Because in order not to allow, because we see that label of these explanations as fake news, in order not to allow the constant growing fake news to be preponderant, you have to make the proper statement, give the statement. So what the FCC should do now, in realizing that it doesn't matter whether he's a young person, the level of his popularity demands that a press briefing be given immediately to show some measure of accountability to Nigerians, that you don't work for yourself, and that you are not against Nigerians, and that we are all in the business of fighting corruption together, fighting financial crimes, or whatever in this case is cyber stalking. Nobody really wants it.
Let's talk about this cyber stalking. Is it being Oh, okay. Very quickly, you were going to say.
Oh, cyber stalking. Cyber stalking. You see, look, until you become a victim of some of these crimes, you would not find the EFCC to be a very useful organization. In this case, we're saying that it has to be on the good side of the people so that it can enjoy the goodwill of the people. After all, it's set up to serve the people. Cyber stalking can be a very dangerous crime, especially when it attacks innocent people. But the Verydarkman is seen in the eyes of Nigerians, especially young Nigerians, as a freedom fighter, as someone who's speaking on their behalf, and it does it in such an innovative manner, playing. It doesn't with a lot of it does, and then it comes out to be well loved, and that's strange. And some of us are very impressed with him. And in that case, the FCC should even see such persons as partners, even when they make mistakes. And in that case, they should not. Of course, he's already a hero, but you increase his heroism when you arrest him in such a manner and refuse to explain.
Frank Tete, thank you very much. Let's see if the EFCC will take your advice on this.
EFCC under Ola Olukayode, I am very confident we'll do the right thing.
All right.
They refuse to tell the public, and besides, when EFCC started to be arresting people, I believe you meant to say for speaking up, I suppose their job is to arrest corrupt people that are stealing public funds.
I've looked at this story critically, and I'm just concerned about the position of the EFCC. So I've been checking their Twitter feed to check what exactly is going on. So we understand the gentleman had gone to the bank with his mom, I think on a Thursday or a Friday, I can't remember, to lay complaints, and after that he left the bank and he was arrested, and initially they didn't know his whereabouts. Eventually the uproar, the furore started. They heard he was at the EFCC custody. Now, as I speak to you right now, the EFCC has not said anything. Rather, people that are saying this is what the EFCC had privately told them. The EFCC has privately told them. At the end of the day, EFCC, I'm just looking at their page, they are calling all of that fake news. This is not acceptable. You may have a love and hate relationship for the gentleman, but if you've arrested somebody who is going to cause this kind of uproar online, this is our image in question. How do you keep somebody for how many days without explanation as to what is done officially? Because right now everything is conjecture. Everybody's just saying this is what we're told. That's what we're told. I think the EFCC should do the honorable thing and be clear to Nigerians exactly what did he do, why is he in custody, when will he find his day in court. I don't think this is as hard as it should be, except there's something I don't know. But let's hear the take of Easy Mary. Say, just when we are talking and asking them about the billions they spent on the Warri refinery.
Exam scored less than 200 in the exam. And this is an exam that is critical, very important for critical thinking. Yes, that's the line I was seeking.
Guys, this is what makes the Nigerian security agencies to be very different. You arrested somebody, you're afraid of telling the world that you arrested him. Is it that they're afraid of Nigerians coming to protest, at their headquarters or any of their offices? Why will you hold somebody for this long? We live in a country where the constitution is never followed. I mean, you just keep wondering, why do we have the constitution? It only applies when it has to do with the poor people. But you see all these security agencies and influential politicians, they do whatever they want to do, without being questioned. Look at how the country is being run today. We have bandits everywhere. Nobody's being prosecuted. Nobody's even trying to stop, what is happening in Nigeria. Now, the Tinubu's government is saying that when it comes to procurement, they will not be in a hurry to buy things outside the country that are being produced in Nigeria. They are trying to cut costs now, because guess what? With the Trump's policy, oil prices are falling. Oil prices are falling in Nigeria, and also we already know that the insecurity is affecting our GDP, it's affecting us in so many places, in so many areas. People can no longer go to their farms and, do the right thing they have to do. And now it's affecting them, only for the federal government to start thinking that they now have to start cutting costs. When Peter Obi told them to cut costs, they will send DSS, that Peter Obi have said something blasphemous, they will send DSS for arrest. Now it's telling on them. It will get to a point where they won't even see money to pay salaries, honestly. That's to tell you when a country lacks rule of law. Just look at the Verydarkman. you know, he's being arrested and nobody knows his whereabouts. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.